What up, B Squad? It is your boy JB, and we are here today on this gloomy Wednesday afternoon in Dallas. And this is going to be the review for the Oval season number 4, episode number 9. Episode is titled
Here's what I found.
I Was Not Talking to You. Shit. So, this is the Oval season 4, episode 9. Episode titled Out of Line. So, you guys, before we go ahead and get into this review, if you guys are watching this video or any other video on the channel, and you guys aren't subscribed yet, then I need you guys to do me a solid favor and stop taking me out of this dating app and me pay for it at the end of it. You guys can do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, turning on those post notifications, and also share the video. And with that, you guys, without further ado, let's discuss the Oval on BT, shall we? Alright, guys, so this episode, we literally opened up where we left off in last week's episode, which was with Alan and Kyle. That car flipped, right, you guys? Tyler Perry, you and these imaginary scenes, because this is just fan fiction, right? This is just fictional completely. So you guys remember, the car turned over on its hood. Alan and Kyle got out the car unscathed. No scratches, no bruises, no bumps, no nothing. Now, at first Kyle was trapped in the car, but he eventually got out. He begged and pleaded with Alan to get him out because he smelled the gas and he knew the car was about to blow, but he was able to get himself out, and then him and Alan had a little bit of a back and forth conversation. So at one point, Kyle said, we're going to go see Donald. You guys know Alan still thinks that Donald sent Kyle to take him out, right? I don't care. So he at one point asked, now this is where I was like, Tyler, you do remember we know who took Ellie out, and so does Alan. So Ellie, he asked him who took out Ellie, and I was thinking to myself, I'm like, but you know it was Victoria, because Victoria asked you on multiple occasions to physically assault her, and then she even asked you to take Ellie out. So why are we rewriting history as if he doesn't know that it was Victoria? But whatever his name is, Kyle, he said he doesn't know, which he's telling the truth. He doesn't know who took Ellie out, but I'm like, Alan, you know. So then we move over to Hunter and Alonzo, you guys. So Hunter went up to Alonzo to ask Alonzo, so what did you tell Donald and Victoria? He says, nothing, sir. I was outside the entire time. He says again, what did you tell him? He says, nothing. He says, well, then Hunter says, yeah, I know, you didn't tell him. He brings up the police report, right? So Alonzo says he has a guy that scrubbed it. Hunter tells him his guy has been compromised. And then he tells him the reason that Victoria knows is because her father got the police report and he did away with it. That's it. So then he also says to Alonzo, he wants to do it again. He wants to go back out, and he wants to, for Alonzo to score some more cocaine for him. I was like, didn't that get you in trouble the last time? But okay, Hunter. Let's pause here. Move forward. Next up, you guys, let's talk about, so this episode review might not be long either, because this episode, for me personally, it just didn't give a whole lot. It was more of the repetitive dialogue. So Dale is talking to Sharon on the phone, right? And, he doesn't feel that things are over because, Kyle came out there to the woods. He's like, it's over. We talked to the vice president. Dale's like, yeah, I know. Kareem told me, but I don't know. He says because the guy that I was dealing with that works for the chief of staff, he came and got Alan, and he's talking about some top secret files. They're like, oh, he's trying to, they're trying to get rid of him. He says exactly what I was thinking, right? So Sharon tells him to go home. He says, I don't know about that. So this is where Tyler lost me in this scene. So Dale is on the phone with Sharon, talking about Kareem, but asking Sharon to call Kareem to ask Kareem if he can come back to the house. Mind you, Kareem is still in the pharmacy, right? So Sharon hangs up the phone, calls Kareem to say, hey, Kareem, let Dale come back to the crib. He says, are you coming home? She says, I'm not. I'm still here. He says, where are you? Are you in his bed? I was like, oh my God. This scene was just too long for me. So she hangs up with Kareem, calls Dale, tells Dale he can go back to Kareem's house. Kareem is right there throwing loofah scrubs at him. I was just like, oh my God. They hang up. Kareem tells Dale, go home. Dale says, are you coming? He says, are you afraid? He says, well, it is strength in numbers. That's really all I got for that scene. So then the next scene we got is Jason. So Jason is still with David, and he's telling David, like, I'm in pain, so I need my pain medication, and I am a little bit hungry. So David was like, okay. He gave him his pain meds, and he said he's going to go fix him something to eat. Mind you, he's drinking some coffee, right? If Jason tried to take you down once before, why would you? I mean, you noticed that he took something. You noticed that he took something to hurt you. Why would you then leave your coffee right in front of him with his medication? Common sense would say, this little boy just tried to harm me. I got the jump on him, but now I'm gonna leave my coffee sitting uncovered in front of him with prescription pain medication. So David went to go get Jason something to eat. Jason takes the meds, grinds them up into his coffee. I was like, well, that was really, really stupid. So then at one point, David asked Jason, like, why did you jump? He said he thought it would be the fastest way to get away from, everything dealing with his family. Then they see on the news where they are preparing for Jason's funeral. I'm still stuck on that one. I know that Victoria is having him cremated, but my thing is, nobody noticed that this boy and Jason don't look anything alike. They may have similarities. And Tyler, you kind of dropped that scene. Because remember, a few episodes ago, when the White House doctor told Hunter that there was no way that person that was in that bed is his son or Victoria's son, he ain't mentioned that no more since. But I guess that's because he's been high and trying to find prostitutes or ladies of the night or sex workers. Let's be politically correct. Like, I'm just like, okay, Tyler, you dropped that. Okay. Neither here nor there. I'm going to pause here, you guys, because this next scene is going to be super long because my notes are long for it, but I don't know how long I'm going to talk about it. So let's pause here and move forward. All right, you guys. So the longest scene in this episode. It involves Alan, Donald, Kyle, and Lily. So you guys remember, I told you guys that Alan and Kyle managed to walk away from a car that flipped. This is given Tom Girardi from The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And if you guys know anything about Beverly Hills, Erica Girardi, go back to season 11 when she was telling the car about how the car flipped 15 times, how that car flipped, and Tom was able to walk away unscathed. Similar with this situation, right? So Alan and Kyle make it to Donald's house, right? So Donald asks Kyle, not at Kyle, but Alan, where were you? Kyle says he's been camping, right? So then Kyle lets him know that he flipped the car. He's like, why did you flip my car? So at one point, go away, Siri. Now, when I say your motherfucking name, you don't pop up. But when I say other things, you want to pop up on me. I can't stand her. So, yeah. So he asked him why did he... So at one point, Donald was telling Kyle to, leave him and Alan alone. He was like, no, sir, I'm going to stay here. So I'm guessing Kyle thinks that something bad is going to happen to Donald. Who cares, right? So once again, Donald asks Alan, Why did you flip my car? He says, because you were coming after me. He says, we were not coming after you. Then he brings up the fact that Grip, if it wasn't for Priscilla, that Agent Grip would have took him out, right? And it was on your orders, so he thinks. Which it was. We know it was, but these people are... Now, this scene, I will say, is more believable than the situation with Eli, right? Like, even though we know that Jason did take out some of those people, Jesus Christ. So we know that this is a little bit more believable, right? Because they're saying that when it came down to Grip, the reason why he came after Alan, which this is actually believable, but it's the stuff with like the Yuma stuff and all that kind of stuff. None of that stuff made sense. This makes sense. So they're saying that Grip was having an affair with Ellie. Grip found out about Ellie and Alan, which that part doesn't make any sense. Now that part right there doesn't make any sense because everyone in the White House, everybody pretty much knew that Ellie and Alan were a couple. So that part doesn't make sense. Because they came into... Okay. I was finna try to make sense of it, but I'm not going to try to make sense of it. So yeah, he found out he found out she was with Alan. He took her out. Then he tried to come after Alan. When he came after Alan, after that, he took himself out. I was like, now that doesn't make a lot of sense, though. I guess if you're trying to say if he couldn't live without, since he took Ellie out, he couldn't really live without Ellie. But again, none of this makes sense because of the fact that Victoria literally wanted Alan to unlive Ellie. She wanted him to abuse Ellie. So why are we rewriting things? I'm struggling with that. I'm struggling with that part, right? So then Donald tells Alan that he loves him. I was like, wait a minute, what? Do you love me? I was like, wait, huh? Okay, Tyler. So after that, he left, he left out, and Donald was telling, Kyle to find somebody to take him home. Kyle said he'll do it. Then Kyle's like, I can take him out. Donald was like, no, don't take him out. He's too cute. So both Kyle and Donald like Alan. So Kyle asked Donald at one point, do you miss me? Then Donald asked him, does he miss Dale? I was like, this is stupid. Then Lily came in. Lily is still in pain. Donald says it's just a flesh wound, but I'm like, yours? But if hers was a flesh wound, what was yours? Because you're walking around better than she is. Granted, I think hers is a flesh wound. Because he got shot in the abdomen, but he's fine. Ain't even been to the doctor to get the bullet removed. Okay, Tyler, I can't. I really can't. Let's pause here and move forward. So we see Nancy and Sharon are talking, right? They're still talking about not Kareem, but Barry. Sharon wonders if Barry went back to the Rakadushis. Nancy doesn't think that he would do that after what happened to him the last time. I'm like, you think his daughter is missing? Like, I mean, damn, we ain't talked about that little girl since the second season? Jesus Christ, we ain't talked about. I know Ruthless. I know she's on. I know, but I don't keep it with Ruthless, you guys. So Sharon feels like Barry might be mad about the fact that she's staying there. Then she says, I can go back to Kareem's. Then her and Nancy talk about the fact that Nancy feels like she should do what both Max and Bobby want her to do because she's a street girl. I was like, this doesn't make any sense, but okay. So next up, we see Sam and Priscilla. So Priscilla and Sam, they're getting ready for work. Richard calls Sam to tell Sam that Barry still hasn't come home yet. And Priscilla even wonders the same thing. Did Barry go to stay with, go to the Rakadushis? Sam's like, I hope not, because we already dealing with a lot of shit. I'm like, ain't you ever. So then we move over to Simone and Eli, right? Now you guys know that Simone and Eli are supposed to go to talk to Hunter and Victoria. You guys know Simone doesn't want to do that, and she's still adamant about not doing it. Eli is begging her to go. He's telling her he'll handle it if Victoria gets out of line and whatnot. I was like, okay, I really don't care. So then after that, Bobby and Max come in, right? So Eli asked them when we go to the White House, y'all gonna be cool? They said, yeah. He says, Max, if you see Kyle, are you gonna be cool? He was like, yeah, I'll be cool. So also when it comes down to Max and Bobby, they don't trust Eli, right? They don't trust him 100%, so they want to do their own little thing, right? And I'm cool with that. So then we wrap up the episode with Jason. So Jason and David. I'm still stuck on why the fuck David drank that damn coffee and left his coffee in front of Jason. It doesn't make any sense. And Jason is stupid. Your mother wants you gone. You already know she can't stand you, but Jason's ready to leave, right? And he's asking him, because David was like, "Did you hear what they told you?" Talking about Sam and Richard, right? So he was like, "I don't think it's my dad. It might not be your daddy, but it is damn certain your mama. Your mama can't stand your little ass and wants you gone." But that's it, you guys. Let me know what you guys thought about this episode. Leave your comments in the comment section below. You guys subscribe to the channel, turn your post notifications on, and share that video, you guys. And until the next time, stay safe out there. Take care of yourselves, you guys. Be blessed. And I'll see you guys later.